Hey guys, this is Del9 playing a game called the Stanley Parable. And if you actually look in the screen, I actually have my thing. This is Inception. It's displaying my screen. This is just like the actual objective of the game. Is it screws with you. Oh, I hit credits. Damn. End is never the end. Is never the end. Is loading. Never. This game actually seemed really fun when I first played the demo. I got the demo because I saw PewDiePie was playing it, and it was and it said demonstration or whatever. And so I was like, oh, I'll play the demo because of course it's gonna be free. So I played the demo and I enjoyed it, and I watched PewDiePie play the demo and I enjoyed it. And so I decided I was gonna buy the full game and then play through for you guys the full game. So here I am. Just going to load the game. I might have to change my graphics settings and some other stuff. So I might have to cut those parts of the video out. So oh, sorry, I fell asleep there, waiting for this load to happen. Yeah, I might fall asleep because... What? Oh, I meant to post a video, by the way, yesterday. It was supposed to be a horror game map for Gmod.
This is the story of a man named Stanley. Stanley worked for a company in a big building where he was employee number 427. Employee number 427's job was simple. He sat at his desk in room 427 and he pushed buttons on a keyboard.
Well, me and really like it on this game. I need to do some stuff with the options. Hello guys, welcome to the Stanley Parable. So, it just seemed like a really fun game to play, and so I'm playing it. Now the game is, okay, I'm gonna pull up, I have my phone with me, so I can pull up the description of the game on the interwebs. And the description of the game is, this might not be word for word just because I suck at, I'm not gonna be saying it word for word, I'm just gonna get the basis and then done. Phone's not getting internet correctly, so screw that. But anyways, I think I remember part of it. Anyways, part of the description was, you will play as Stanley, you will not play as Stanley. You will follow the story, you will not follow the story. And, basically the game is an exploration game. Yeah, sorry. Sorry. But yeah, it's an exploration game, and your objective is to find a few ends. I think there's multiple ends. I don't know, but anyways, it says end is never the end is never the end is loading net. And then it kind of cuts off part of the V, so I didn't pronounce it. It's eventually going to load the entire game. When it does, it should be good. I did have to turn my resolution down quite a bit, so hopefully you guys can bear with that, because my computer isn't all that good for gaming. So, yeah. What? No. Game, that's right. It's almost unloading. Hopefully it finishes soon here.
This is the story of a man named Stanley. Stanley worked for a company in a big building where he was employee number 427. Employee number 427's job was simple. He sat at his desk in room 427 and he pushed buttons on a keyboard.
don't know why that part is
Orders
glitching
came
out.
to him through a monitor on his desk, telling him what buttons to push, how long to push them, and in what order. This is what employee 427 did every day of every month of every year. And although others might have considered it soul-rending, Stanley relished every moment that the orders came in, as though he had been made exactly for this job. And Stanley was happy. And then one day, something very peculiar happened. Something that would forever change Stanley. Something he would never quite forget. He had been at his desk for nearly an hour when he realized that not one single order had arrived on the monitor for him to follow. No one had showed up to give him instructions, call a meeting, or even say hi. Never in all his years at the company had this happened, this complete isolation. Something was very clearly wrong.
This is
Sharp,
really
sharp,
laggy.
sharp. Frozen
Sorry.
Stanley found himself unable to move for the longest time. But as he came to his wits and regained his senses, he got up from his desk and stepped out of his office. All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
Seriously, why is this game laggy in some spots? Alright, I'm gonna change a little bit more of the settings. Yeah, I have my thing all the way down. I think I can turn them down here. Nope. Actually, maybe. Nope. I'm not gonna mess with anything. I don't know, because I don't know what some of these things do. Okay. Turn down that a little bit. Or all the way, I guess. I think that might be lagging up my game a bit. There we go, now I'm getting pretty decent frames. But, okay, so I'm going this way. Oh, the coffee spilled. Dude, clean yourself up for yourself, dude.
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left.
No, I didn't. I entered the door on my right.
This was not the correct way to the meeting room, and Stanley knew it perfectly well. Perhaps he wanted to stop by the employee lounge first, just to admire it.
Okay. The game's so weird because you can make decisions to not do what the narrator said, and like, or make decisions based on what you want, and depending on how you play the game depends on the outcome. So, I am sadly only going to be doing one playthrough of this game.
Yes, truly a room worth admiring. It had really been worth the detour after all, just to spend a few moments here in this immaculate, beautifully constructed room.
I'm not going to move one of these things.
Stanley simply stood here, drinking it all in. But eager to get back to business, Stanley took the first open door on his left.
First open door on his left, no he didn't, he kept moving.
Stanley was so bad at following directions, it's incredible he wasn't 5 years ago.
Caution, do not lie if you're lying right now. Stop. Okay. So, can I go back through here? No. So the decisions we make are apparently locked. So, man, why am I lagging so bad? Probably because I'm recording, but that's usually not a problem for Source games like this one. Yeah, seriously, why is there a problem with this game? I turned a lot of stuff down for this.
Look, Stanley, I think perhaps we've gotten off on the wrong foot here. I'm not your enemy, really, I'm not. I realize that investing your trust in someone else can be difficult, but the fact is that the story has been about nothing but you all this time. There's someone you've been neglecting, Stanley. Someone you've forgotten about. Please, stop trying to make every decision by yourself. Now, I'm not asking for me, I'm asking for her.
Who's her?
This is it, Stanley. Your chance to redeem yourself. To put your work aside. To let her back into your life. She's been waiting.
Who's she? That's like a brain voice. I'm sorry. Can I do? Is there anything I can do? What do I can? Nope. So this game is available on Steam for like $11 right now, but it's not gonna stay that way. Oh.
That's her, Stanley.
Hello? What's up? Oh.
Oh, Stanley, is that you? Hold on, sweetie. Sorry to keep you waiting. I'm just pulling the bread out of the oven. All right. Okay, there we go. All right, now, I want you to come in and tell me all about your day.
Oh, what the?
Gotcha. Oh, come on. Did you actually think you had a loving wife who'd want to commit their life to you? I'm trying to make a point here, Stanley. I'm trying to get you to see something. Come inside. Let me show you what's really going on here.
But why? Why are you...
This is a very sad story about the death of a man named Stanley.
Press D on your keyboard.
Stanley is quite a boring fellow. He has a job that demands nothing of him, and every button that he pushes is a reminder of the inconsequential nature of his existence.
Why? E.
Look at him there, pushing buttons, doing exactly what he's told to do. Now he's pushing a button. Now he's eating lunch. Now he's going home. Now he's coming back to work. One might even feel sorry for him, except that he's chosen this life.
3. Okay.
But in his mind, in his mind he can go on fantastic adventures. From behind his desk, Stanley dreamed of wild expeditions into the unknown. Fantastic discoveries.
Why can't I have a real life?
lands.
Or a real
It was
wife,
wonderful.
even?
And
Like,
each day
why?
that he returned to
Frickin'
work
screw you.
was a reminder that none of it would ever happen to him.
I'm gonna cry. I'm just gonna cry.
And so he began to fantasize about his own job. First, he imagined that one day while at work, he stepped up from his desk to realize that all of his co-workers, his boss, everyone in the building had suddenly vanished off the face of the earth.
That's what
The
happened,
thought
though.
excited him terribly. So he went further. He imagined that he came to 2 open doors and that he could go through either. At last, choice. It barely even mattered what lay behind each door.
Okay.
The mere thought that his decisions would mean something was almost too wonderful to behold.
But I'm gonna just sit here with my fake wife.
As he wandered through this fantasy world, he began to fill it with many possible
What's happening?
paths and destinations.
This is crazy.
Down one path lay an enormous round room with monitors and mind controls. And down another was a yellow line that weaved in many directions. And down another was a game with a baby. And he called it the Stanley Parable.
Okay.
It was such a wonderful
This game's
fantasy.
weird.
And so in his head, he relived it again, and then again, and again,
Can I take
over
your
and
ride?
over, wishing beyond hope that it would never end, that he might always feel this free. Surely there's an answer down some new path, mustn't there be? Perhaps if he played just one more time.
I love
But there
you.
is no
What the?
answer. How could there possibly be? In
Am I
reality,
going-
all he's doing is pushing the same buttons he always has. Nothing has changed. The longer he spends here, the more invested he gets. The more he
Whoa,
forgets
everything's
which
slowly
life
changing
is the
around
real
me.
one. And I'm trying to tell him this, that in this world he can never be anything but an observer, that as long as he remains here, he's slowly killing himself. But he won't listen to me. He won't stop. Here,
I can't
watch
jump?
this. Stanley, the next time the screen asks you to push a button, do not do it.
I don't care, I'm gonna do it anyways.
You see? Can he just not hear me? How can I tell him in a way that he'll understand that every second he remains here, he's electing to kill himself? How can I get him to see what I see? How can I make him look at himself?
But I'm not pressing it, screw you. Can I choose or not? Yo. I'm sitting here. I'm not pressing this button, screw you. Fine.
I suppose I can't, not in the way I want him to. But I don't make the rules. I simply play to my intended purpose, the same as Stanley. We're not so different, I suppose. I'll try once more to convey all this to him. I'm compelled to. I must. Perhaps, well, maybe this time he'll see. Maybe this time. And I tried again, and Stanley pushed a button. And I tried again, and Stanley pushed a button. And I...
Please die. What? Please tell me the game didn't just crash. What the... I died because the text told me to? What the frick is this? This game's crazy. I need to turn on the lights real quick, I'll be right back. I'm just gonna stand up. You might hear a little bit of moving stuff out on my mic. So, am I back where I started? I'm back where I started. The crap.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
Oh my god. What is this game? I don't know what to do anymore. I think that's the point of it, but I might play through it a few times just to see what happens. Never played a game like this. It's a really unique game.
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left.
Fine, I will this time. Yo, fine. Nope.
Yet there was not a single person here either. Feeling a wave of disbelief, Stanley decided to go up to his boss's office, hoping he might find an answer there.
Broom closet.
Stanley stepped into the broom closet, but there was nothing here, so he turned around and got back on track.
But I don't want to. Fine. Fine though.
Coming to a staircase, Stanley walked upstairs to his boss's office.
But I don't want to walk downstairs. What happens if I walk downstairs?
But Stanley just couldn't do it. He considered the possibility of facing his boss, admitting he had left his post during work hours. He might be fired for that. And in such a competitive economy, why had he taken that risk? All because he believed everyone had vanished? His boss would think he was crazy. And then something occurred to Stanley. Maybe, he thought to himself, maybe I am crazy. All of my co-workers blinking mysteriously out of existence in a single moment for no reason at all? None of it made any logical sense. And as Stanley pondered this, he began to make other strange observations. For example, why couldn't he see his feet when he looked down?
Yeah, why?
Why did doors close automatically behind him wherever he went? And for that matter, these rooms were starting to look pretty familiar. Were they simply repeating? No, Stanley said to himself, this is all too strange. This can't be real. And at last, he came to the conclusion that had been on the tip of his tongue. He just hadn't found the words for it. I'm dreaming, he yelled. This is all a dream. Oh, what a relief Stanley felt to have finally found an answer, an explanation. His co-workers weren't actually gone. He wasn't going to lose his job. He wasn't crazy after all. And he thought to himself, I suppose I'll wake up soon. I'll have to go back to my boring real-life job pushing buttons. I may as well enjoy this while I'm still lucid. So, He imagined himself flying and began to gently float above the ground.
What?
Then he imagined himself soaring through space on a magical star field, and it too appeared.
Wow.
It was so much fun, and Stanley marveled that he had still not woken up. How was he remaining so lucid? And then perhaps the strangest question of them all entered Stanley's head. One he was amazed he hadn't asked himself sooner. Why is there a voice in my head dictating everything that I'm doing and thinking? Now the voice was describing itself being considered by Stanley, who found it particularly strange. I'm dreaming about a voice describing me, thinking about how it's describing my thoughts, he thought. And while he thought it all very odd and wondered if this voice spoke to all people in their dreams, the truth was that, of course, this was not a dream. How could it be? Was Stanley simply deceiving himself, believing that if he's asleep, he doesn't have to take responsibility for himself? Stanley is as awake right now as he's ever been in his life. Now, hearing the voice speak these words was quite a shock to Stanley. After all, he knew for certain, beyond a doubt, that this was in fact a dream. Did the voice not see him float and make the magical stars just a moment ago? How else would the voice explain all that? This voice was a part of himself too. Surely, if he could just... He would prove it. He would prove that he was in control, that this was a dream.
I'm
So he
so
closed
confused.
his eyes gently, and he invited himself to wake up. He felt the cool weight of the blanket on his skin, the press of the mattress on his back, the fresh air of a
So
world
confused.
outside this
This
one.
game's so freaking weird.
Let me
And they
wake
said
up,
freaking, by the
he
way.
thought to himself. I'm through with this dream. I wish it to be over. Let me go back to my job. Let me continue pushing the buttons.
Ah, they on
Please.
me.
It's all I want. I want my apartment, and my wife, and my job. All I want is my life
But I thought we
exactly
didn't
the
have a
way
wife.
it's always been. My life is normal.
I'm a loner.
I am normal.
But I'm not normal.
Everything will be
I'm
fine.
Dopo249. Everything will not be fine because...
I am okay.
But there's a voice in my head. What the frick is this game? This game is serially confusing. Where am I now?
Stanley began
What the
screaming. Please, someone, wake me up. My name is Stanley. I have a boss. I have an office. I am real. Please, just someone tell me I am real. I must be real. I must be. Can anyone hear my voice? Who am
Whoa.
I? Who am I?
What the...
And everything went black.
Alright, I'm gonna pause it here. Hope you guys enjoyed. If you did, please subscribe to become part of the Phoenix Army. This has been Dopo249, signing off. Goodbye.